Alright folks, and welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Donfather, and this is hashtag AFL Chair Chat. It is a sofa, but we're calling it Chair Chat because that's the hashtag. Alright, deal with it. This is my review of Sydney Swans versus Hawthorn Hawks, round 14, 2019 at the SCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground, for those who don't know. Great opening quarter from the Swans. The end of the first round finished 37-19. Papley got two, Franklin got two, and in this quarter I think he kicked his 200th goal at the SCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground. And I think he's only about 60 odd goals away from hitting 1,000 career goals. So that was an absolutely outstanding achievement today, and he's in line. He has got a couple of years left in him, I would say. So he could and should hit the 1,000th goal tally, which I think puts him in the top 6 or 7 goal kickers of all time. That figure could be wrong. It is definitely the top 10 of all time though. But I think it's about 6 or 7. I think, I'm not too sure. I will look into that stat better. But anyway, Papley and Franklin were the stars of the first quarter. Papley's an excellent young player. I really enjoy watching him. And of course, Lance Buddy Franklin, you're watching a living legend right now in the AFL. Probably one of the most instinctive and ruthless goal kickers in the game of the last 10 years. He got two, as I said. So going into the second quarter, wasn't an awful lot of scoring in this. The Hawks kind of staged a little bit of a comeback in the second. Of course, they got 19 in the first, so they got 20 points in the second quarter. And the Swans only managed to get 9 points. Franklin got one of those goals and 3 behind, so they managed 9 in the second quarter. Franklin getting his third of the game. Star man in that quarter was Ricky Henderson for me. Really good player. Definitely one that I've noticed this last wee while. And the commentators also said he's probably the Hawks' best player this year so far. They reckon he's in for the best and fairest award for the Hawks. So he got one, and Roughhead got another. Roughhead, of course, he's not really been featuring recently, but he's got his chance again today, and he's shown exactly what he can do. Great goal kicker himself, and he got one. So into the third quarter, a little bit better, still a bit low scoring. In this quarter, if I'm counting it up, again, the Swans only managed they managed 11 points to the Hawks 10 in this quarter. So this quarter finished 57-49. Franklin got another. So every quarter he scored in the opening 2 minutes. He actually kicked 4 today. But the worrying thing about Franklin was he looks like he's tweaked his hamstring or pulled his hamstring. I'm not too sure of the severity of it. Does look like he's going to miss a week, maybe 2, depending on the severity. It could be just precautionary. He might have felt a little tightness there and decided, look, I'm coming off, don't want to harm it any further. He has already missed a little bit of the season already due to the same hamstring, so maybe he was just being a little bit cautious and left the field of play because he's felt a little tightening. Hopefully so, because we don't want to see him missing that many games. Very influential player today. If he had managed to see out the game, he was on course for my man of the match, but because he's not going to get it. But definitely had a good game up until then. So that looked quite worrying anyway for the Swans fans and indeed for Buddy himself. I don't know the name of the player for the Hawks, but he got a great goal. He's looked it from one of the pockets, high as anything, up to the moon. It's came back, as it's coming down, the sirens went, and it's came down through the sticks for the goal. There was a little bit of like, is it a goal, is it not? But the umpire came up, boom, after the siren, there's your goal. So it was a great kick. I'm not too sure who it was that scored that at the end of the third for the Hawks, so apologies for that. I never quite caught the name, and I don't really know who the player is, so apologies. Fourth quarter, very great, very, very entertaining quarter. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a lot of big tackles in this. There was a lot more physicality going on. There was a lot more exploiting the spaces that were becoming available due to tiredness, weary legs and stuff like that there. But huge amount of goals happening here. We had, it was finished 82-63 overall in favour of the Swans, who were today's victors and thoroughly did deserve the win. I think they kind of showed that they were the better side throughout the whole course of the game. There wasn't really a quarter that you could say that the Hawks played the better footy. I didn't see it anyway, but thoroughly deserved victory. Again, this quarter has its injury concerns for the Swans. Sinclair actually managed to get a goal, and as he scored the goal, he came off because they've noticed a scratched nose. He was bleeding down his face. He's came back on to the field of play, and he's went up and landed very horribly on his head. It looked horrendous, to be fair. And I think at the start, when the commentators seen him fall, didn't think it was too bad. But then when the camera went back on him, he really did look a little confused and dazed. I don't know if he's concussed or, again, if it's precautionary. But I'm guessing it's concussion because he was asking one of the players on the bench, was I concussed? Was I concussed? He didn't know where he was by the looks of things. So that looks worrying. Hopefully he's okay. You'd hate to think that he's took a severe head knock. And hopefully he recovers well and he doesn't miss many games. But the star of this quarter is Blakey. Absolutely outstanding mark. One of the best marks I've seen for a while. That one, and also last night in the Eagles game, your man Ryan, Flying Ryan, I call him, Liam Ryan, took one of the most sensational marks I've saw in live footy yet, and this one was up there with it. Maybe not just as good, but it was definitely up there. But he's managed to convert from the mark and score the goal, and it was absolutely superb. Haywood got one as well, and Nick Blakey got another one, and there was also a huge tackle from the Swans to deny a Hawks goal scoring opportunity. Came out of nowhere, boom! It was a goal-stopping tackle, absolutely superb. Not an awful amount of talking points in terms of great footy. I would probably say, because of the last quarter, my man of the match is Blakey, who is an absolute rising star. I think his dad is actually the coach of the Swans, and he refused to celebrate the mark, but inside, you know, the pride is bursting out of him because of the mark and then the goal, and of course he's kicked another goal. I think he got 3 for the day, Blakey. He looks like a really skinny, gangly, like stick insect type character. But boy, he can play. Rising star. Definitely somebody that the Swans can look forward to if they can keep him in the red jersey. Guernsey. Sorry. He could be a serious player for the Swans in a few years to come. I was really impressed with him, and I have been impressed with him for a couple of weeks now. He's really stepping up and finding form. Very exciting player. So other than that, as I said, not massive amounts of talking points in terms of great footy in this game. Still an enjoyable watch. 2 injury concerns. I hope they're both okay and it doesn't drag on too long. I don't want to see Big Buddy Franklin out for too long, and indeed Sinclair, not a player I know too much about, but a head knock's always a very, very serious thing, and I hope he can recover well. Thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you haven't seen the game, do check out the highlights. There is big talking points in that in terms of injuries, like I've covered 2 or 3 times now, so do check them out if you want to see that. And don't forget, you can follow the thing that I'm doing. I've asked the question on my community page, should I get a haircut mullet style, AFL inspired, because a lot of players are now getting the AFL, and the AFL are getting the mullet hairdo. I don't know if it's making a comeback or what, but to try and raise money for the channel, to take our channel on the road to Australia and get the family flights, etc. I'm looking to do a sponsorship for me to do it. My wife really doesn't want me to get it done. I think it'll be absolutely ridiculous looking, but a bit of fun, and if it can help raise money for the channel and to get us to Australia to the live games and do vlogs, then it's all good. So do check it out, and I've got my Patreon's page as well, which I'll put links for both of them in the description section below. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, and put the notifications bell on as well. Thanks very much for your continued support, everyone. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the sport. I hope you're seeing that from my reactions and reviews, etc., and you're still enjoying the content. Thanks a lot. See you soon, and goodbye.